My name is Pat Don, co-founder of Globalyceum and former professor of history. I want to introduce you to our new Skrypt by Globalyceum. Skrypt is a library of activities designed to energize your course with thinking, writing, and varied forms of assessing. Skrypt both challenges and drives students to higher levels of analysis and evaluation. It is a great boost to student literacy skills. Skrypt costs $25 per student subscription. We offer American and world history, Western civilization, American women's history, plus American government and psychology. The package includes 380 plus developed activities using classic sources in your subject. They include 6 forms of assessment, including analytical writing and critical thinking exercises. Over 70% of writing activities include our new AI Skrypt evaluation tool. Professors can create on-site customized assessments, polls, and discussion boards to work with these activities. And psychologists, we have recently developed a workshop that introduces students to the fundamentals of experimentation. Skrypt activities are brief and concise, designed to be used regularly. Let's look at the basic design. First, a context-building background is presented. Here, an example from American History 1 contains an author-historian video explaining the watercolors of John White and the engravings of Theodore de Bry, the first images of Native Americans brought to Europe from the New World. Next, the source is presented. Students use observations from the John White paintings as evidence for a critical thinking activity. Other sources in other subjects include data charts in American government, classic experiments in psychology, text, photos, maps, graphs, letters, and videos in all subjects. With background and source in mind, students move on to one of 6 forms of assessment. Here is a critical thinking exercise for the John White paintings of Native Americans. The question is, what sympathies does White visually express towards the natives? In the graphic organizer below, students are assisted in breaking down their observations of the paintings into categories of evidence using the guidance of the rubric above. A second assessment is writing response. In our American History 2 activity, the election of 1912, the source is excerpts from the speeches of 4 presidential candidates, and the question asks students to compare the views of the candidates concerning the business class. Students are given the guidelines for grading in the rubric table. And they write their paragraphs below in the window provided. This is where AI Skrypt evaluation comes in. Depending on the way the professor sets up the assessment, the student either submits once for traditional manual grading or several times for AI-generated progressive grading. Here is that assessment settings window. You select which grading method. If you select manual, the student submission goes to a professor digital grading site called EasyGrader. However, you can also choose AI grading. Required submission is important to AI Skrypt evaluation because revision is the key element and advantage of AI-generated progressive grading. You can select any number of required submissions, but we have found that the sweet spot for student writing improvement is 3 submissions, the original and 2 revisions. You then assign the due date and time and the number of points. Here is an example of a student AI Skrypt evaluated rubric for John White. On the right, a quantitative grade appears, and on the left, AI comments about the student's writing under each rubric requirement. The student can now use these specific comments to revise and improve writing 2 more times. After the final submission, we make it clear these are AI suggested grades, with the professor having the final approval. In the AI grading site, you, the professor, can then add comments, change grades, and see all of the submissions and student writing progress. Once you are satisfied, you unhide the grades in our gradebook, which pass back to your LMS. Besides critical thinking exercises and writing response, student understanding of the sources can be assessed in 4 other ways. In fact, research in active learning shows that it is a good idea to mix up assessment styles when teaching students analysis. For example, Instead of writing, assign an opinion or a quiz poll in class and have a discussion about the source, or assign homework with a 5-point objectively graded activity quiz or the more difficult 5-point critical thinking quiz. Whether you use writing exercises, discussion polls, or homework quizzes, the idea is to keep students working and analyzing the sources in your subject. And one more option. If you like to use groups in class, we have an online group grading tool. Students are randomly assigned groups and/or you can drag-drop students into groups and assign group leaders. Groups work together with the leader responsible for submitting the activity to you for the group grade. All students in the group must check into the activity at the point of group discussion in order to receive credit. I would be happy to demo Skrypt for you. All you have to do is click on my digital calendar in this email and make a Zoom appointment. You can consider adoption of Skrypt right up to the first day of class. Students can subscribe directly to the Globalyceum website. At the end of the spring term, we provide a $50 Amazon gift card for your feedback. Thank you again.